Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another beautiful Wednesday with us on Live with Lloyd. I am your host, astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn. And do I have, as all my guests are very dynamic guests, as you see on the screen, Sister Jamila Shabazz, who is actually angel advisor, angel guidance. That's exactly what she does. So we're going to talk. So for those of you who got questions about angels, or you see angels, or I don't know what it relates to angel numbers, we're going to get into all of that and a lot more. And of course, she's a spiritual advisor, and we have been knowing each other for more than a New York minute. I just found that out. So we're going to talk about that too in a moment. But everybody, I want to do thank you very, very much for joining me today. Let's see something here. Okay, I got it. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. I'm astronumerologist Lloyd Strayhorn. Thanks for joining the Live with Lloyd family. Because the way it's going, we're all going to need each other before it's all over. So it's not like family. Families stick together. They kind of look out for each other. There's a whole word in the word family. And so it's very important. But anyway, let me let you know that the sponsors today is brought to you by King Simon. That's my buddy. He is having a wonderful event to honor the ancestral tribute to Baba Dick Gregory that he and I both had the pleasure of meeting. In fact, sitting in for when he was running late to the lecture. Born on October the 12th, as you see, is today after, which is October the 13th. Tickets are available. Please click on the barcode and you will get all the information you need from my buddy King Simon. Next is Intellectual Powers with Dr. Rizza Islam. The supplements is wonderful. I cannot tell you how dynamic the supplements are. You must see it for yourself when you order. Let them know the code is numbers and you will get a discount. Alrighty. Also, Nicholas Brooklyn. In fact, when you mention Nicholas Brooklyn too, you go get a discount at 1396 Fulton Street in Brooklyn, New York City. And you get to see Monique and you get to see Sister Kafunya, who was on with us last week. Of course, also Miss Kimberly or Manifest on Purpose. Her podcast is every Monday and Wednesday morning. She's also included an additional piece called Wisdom, Weekly Wisdom, that's each Sunday. I'll tell you more about that later. And of course, my guest this past Monday is having a guest. And in fact, she decided to, or she sponsoring the show for today to let you know that on the 7th, 3 days from now, she's having an event. As you know, we talked about monies and the making of money and the mindset and the spiritual aspects of money and things of that nature. And so please take advantage of this event. It is this coming Saturday, the 7th, I do believe. Yes. And that's when it's going to be, this Saturday. Exactly right. Okay, good. So before I bring my distinguished guests on, let me do the forecast for today. All right, it's Wednesday. I think I got everything right today. Wednesday, September the 4th. The sun is in Virgo. The moon went into Libra yesterday afternoon at 12:12 in the afternoon. It's an 8 universal month, a 9 universal week, a 3 universal day. And one day I'll take you through how I arrive at all these things. For Pisces, which happens to be Sagittarius, this is their sign, and my guess, ironically, happens to be a Pisces. Or if they're born on the 3rd, 12th, 21st, or 30th of the month, well, this should be a very important day for you. So now, without further ado, let me bring on my very distinguished guest, Jamila. How you doing, my sister? How's everything? Hold, let me see something. Okay, I got you. How you
Okay,
doing, lady?
I'm good. I'm amazing. Thank you.
Well, that much is true. That's easy to see. Okay. Just some of the best parts, I guess, of almost any interview, whether a show or radio or whatever the case is, sometimes takes place before uh, we actually come on the air. And you told me one thing I did not know. Can you kind of explain what happened? Then we'll get into you and how you
Yeah,
became angel
absolutely.
guidance and stuff like that. Yes.
Yes. So, not about 15 years old. I had ran away from home, and I put myself in a group home, and I was listening to the radio. I believe at that time it was BLS, and
Yep.
this person was like doing numerology readings and it just intrigued me at such a young age. I was like, oh, this is so amazing. Let me see if I could call in and he tells me something. So I called and they were like, you're live. I was like, yes. And then you just started like telling me everything about my birthday, whatever. But what stood out for me the most was like, he was like, Jamila, you have to be careful of fires. And it stood out, but it didn't, I didn't really give it a lot of energy. I'm 16 years old. Then as I have my children later on in life, I'm always smelling fire. I'm running through the house. What do you got burning? What do you got burning? And they like, nothing. And it keeps happening. And I keep smelling this fire. And but nothing is burning. And at some point when I start to do the work that I'm doing, my mom was told that her and I, from the angels, we had died in a fire together. Her holding me, we died in a fire. And then it clicked. Oh, yes. Lloyd said, be careful of a fire. So literally, I take that very serious. I take it very serious. I mean, I take precautions because of the guidance and because of the guidance that came through you through the numerology. And like so if I'm cooking, I can't go upstairs. Somebody else can go upstairs if they're cooking. I have to stay downstairs because I have to be careful. So I'm really
Mhm.
grateful to you for that. And it was confirmed through the angels.
I think that's amazing. I know I've been reading people, it seems like forever, but that's amazing. At that time, 15, now you're a mother of four children. That's amazing. And speaking of that, what's also interesting is that who would know years later we would get together for this event?
Yep.
This event took place.
That was amazing.
Remember the year that this, oh, there it is, 2014.
When was it? Oh, 2014. Yes.
Awakening the authentic self into the 2014 fall equinox.
Yes.
To the left is the distinguished Dr. Delbert Blair, an Aquarius, a brilliant, brilliant metaphysician.
Yes.
That young lady in the center, she looks real familiar, Jamila Shabazz.
Yep. That's
you know,
me.
and you know what's so amazing? It shows you how small this world is and why you never know how things connect. And it
No.
is time to be nice to people. I'm so glad I had the parents that just good morning, hello. We could be cousins if we talk long enough.
Right.
We all
Yes.
related indirectly from what I'm told, really.
Yes. That is so true. And who would have knew that this 15-year-old girl decades later would be interviewed by Lloyd Strahan?
Yeah, yeah. And so there it is there. That was on September the 21st. I do remember that very distinctly too,
Yes.
because that was my first time where I physically was able to meet Dr. Delbert Blair that I heard so much about. But that's
Yes.
interesting. All
Yes.
right. So now we're gonna get into, let me see, we're gonna get into, hold on 1 second. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
You are You
We
describe yourself as angel guidance. So now what does that mean? Let me say this. For those of you in the viewers who have does this have connections with angel numbers? That seemed to be the thing too. Um because I was telling you earlier before we got on, there was a gentleman I read earlier today, and he says he kept seeing 727, which adds up, adds up to 16. 1 + 6 is 7,
mm,
which governs the sign of Cancer, and he happened to have been a Cancer. So I
okay.
don't know whether subconsciously these numbers we see. First of all, from that young lady that ran away and called me and became a mother of four beautiful children,
Yes.
how did you become into angel guidance?
Well, I wouldn't say that I was looking for it. That's for sure. I was minding my business. I was minding my own business, and I was in New York, and I kept getting this nudge. which I'm going to talk about more because we all get them. And the nudge was, it's time to heal and it's time to leave New York. But New York was all that I knew. So I couldn't fathom leaving New York because that's where I grew up, you know? And I
Yeah.
was like, well, where am I going? And they were like, you want to go to Virginia? And I was like, Virginia? It's backwards back there. I'm going backwards? No, I don't want to go there. And I realized that, and that's how you kind of know when you're being talked to by your angels. Because one, you start talking back. Like, who am I really talking to? I'm like going back and forth with this. And I was like, you know what? I was at a point, a very low point of my life. I had contemplated suicide many times. And
Really?
like, yeah, I was in so much pain. Just life seemed like a burden. Like, why am I here? And I kept asking that. I kept saying, why am I here? Like, why did I come here? I don't understand. Like, okay, I'm happy I have my children, but other than that, this is a waste. I don't understand why I'm here. And that was my main question. I would keep asking that question. So at some point I was guided to leave and go to Virginia. And when I was on the I took the Greyhound with my children with my suitcases. And when I was on the Greyhound, I called the prayer line and I said, um, may you pray for me and may you please ask God to reveal my divine purpose of why I'm here because I'm out of here if I don't find out. And she
Hold up.
said
I
a
mean,
prayer.
just like that on faith, you just booked the ticket and got out of New York just like that?
Yeah, and I let my cousin stay in my apartment. I was like, no, I'm not coming back, so you can have it. And
Wow.
left furniture, left everything, just left because I knew I wasn't talking I knew I did not give that to myself. So I knew there had to be something behind this, but I wasn't sure. And at that point I didn't really care because I was like not choosing to be here anyway. So I just followed that guidance. And when I got to Virginia, got the apartment or whatever, I was guided that okay, now it's time to heal. And I was like, yeah, it is time to heal. I've been trying to heal forever. Like, you know, I've been through a lot and I've been trying to heal it and nothing happens. I've been to therapists. I've done everything. Like, you're not telling me nothing I don't know. Like, you know, and they was like, well, the first step is you are being the victim and you got to stop. Like, you're making things worse by being the victim. And I'm like, I am the victim. I was
Well, I mean,
like,
if you've been doing that, why not? Yeah. Why
yeah,
would you
I'm
continue?
like, yeah. So at any rate, I knew I was being talked to. I wasn't sure how I was able to connect to this. I'm clear that I'm getting messages. I'm clear that I'm crying with some of the messages, especially when they said that I was being a victim. I was crying. I was like, but did you see what I've been through? Of course I'm a victim. I was wearing that as a badge of honor. I was like, yeah, I am a victim. And they was like, as long as
Wow.
you are in that, you're gonna stay the victim. And what happens with victims? They continue to get victimized. So do you want to continue to be victimized or do you want to rise above this? And I wanted to rise above it. And the first step, they said I had to stop, you know, blaming my mom, who, you know, most of my pain was from her. And I had to just find gratitude. There was a lot of things they guided me to do. And at some point, they were like, we're going to assist the human race through you once you heal, because we can't come through you with all that anger and all that energy. You got to shift that. So once I healed, then that's when I started bringing them forth. So when I say bring them forth, literally my eyes are closed and and they are talking through me to assist the human race.
Well, you know what's interesting, speaking of that, just if you don't mind me revealing just a little bit, your mom reached out to you to find out how she can see you tonight. So obviously that worked out.
Yes, yes. Me and my mom are I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful for her. Yes, the pain was the pain, but it can't define me. It can't make me who I am today. It can only assist me in becoming more and giving more and being more. And I've been through a lot, but I feel like I've been through a lot because I'm very relatable. I can understand people that come to me because I've been through a lot.
Well, sometimes the person who is the best counselor is the one that went through the worst experience.
Yeah. Yeah.
and therefore not they could just speak academically in that way, but actually speak through the hard knocks, so to speak. Okay.
Right.
And
Right.
that's a whole nother thing when you say, okay, it's like a person, you have a toothache, but you never ever had a toothache. And I'm trying to tell you, girl, this toothache is really bothering me. And you say, okay,
Right.
but you just can't feel it unless
Right.
you go through that experience.
Right. And I remember, Lloyd, when I first told my children, I was like, okay, angels are going to be speaking through me. And they looked at me like I was crazy.
Your mom.
Like, what in the hell is she?
Let you know who that.
Is
Listen,
she?
okay, mom, right, mom. All right, okay.
But so back then we didn't have the phones or whatever. So I told my daughter to go to Walmart and get a tape recorder. And I was like, well, let's just see, and I closed my eyes and I put myself in a meditative state and I gave her some questions to ask and we listened to it. And she was like, no way, mom. And I'm like, no way too. Like, wow, it was just amazing. And I can say that, we all have angels that communicate with us and assist us and just being able to tune into that. We all can do it. We all can do it. I just happen to be a vessel where I can bring the messages through directly, but we all can do it.
So you said that when you was trying to explain to your children, what made you say, or was you guided, so to speak, pardon the pun, to go and get a recorder to try to do that?
Well, no, because they said that they're going to be speaking through me, and I didn't know what that meant. Like, what do you mean you're going to speak through me? Like, what does that mean? I didn't know what that meant. You're going to speak through me. And I remember them saying, watch Ghosts. I'm like, watch Ghosts? I'm not watching Ghosts. I saw that movie already.
Oh,
So,
that was a movie with
right. they kept
Whoopi
saying, watch
Goldberg.
Ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I was like, yeah. So I just told my daughter to get the recorder. And I said, I'm going to do what they guided me to do. And what they guided me to do was go into like act like if I'm going into a meditative state. So and when I go into meditative state, I'm breathing and I'm just relaxing. And that brings me into a meditative state. And so once I'm in that state, I become an unconscious channel. And now I'm bringing them forth, the angels, to communicate. And that's what happened. And even my son, when he first had a session, with the angels, when I came back, I opened my eyes and he was there, like sitting right there, and he was like, "No way, no way, no
So now they're looking at Ma different, right?
way." Right. So now it's like I know everything now. Now I know everything. Okay, you thought I knew everything before, but now I really know everything.
Well, let me say this before you continue. I personally, because what happened is how we reconnected, you reached out to me for a session. Then I asked, could you do me a session? And it was incredible. And I said, well, listen, you like to be a guest on the show, and here we are. It just goes to show you. So yeah, it's interesting when they see you in a certain way, you just mom. I mean, you gave birth to them, you've been changing their diapers and feeding them and wiping their nose and all this other stuff. And now they're coming of age. And I remember when I was 11, I thought I knew everything. And my mother told me, excuse me, you just get started. And so it's just interesting that now they begin to look at you in a different. Do they now at this point in their life still reach out to you, so to speak, or mom, what do you think?
Yes, they always want this guidance from the angels. I don't know what they're
Not
gonna do
mom,
now that I can
not
get
Marvel for the angels, right?
right. Yeah. So yeah, all of my children still get guidance. So and
That's interesting.
I'm really grateful for the guidance because like just some things I just wouldn't know on my own. And so let me give you an example. So I was supposed to be on your show last week, right?
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
told you I could come because I wasn't feeling well. So, so I'm a natural, the angels have guided me to eat natural, no sugar, no, no alcohol, no nothing. So, I don't take medicine and stuff like that. So there's no need for me to go to the hospital because I don't take that stuff. I take oil of oregano, right? So I'm laying down sleep and clearly the angels like woke me up and I heard you need to go to the hospital. So I'm like, why would y'all send me to the hospital? I don't go to the hospitals. I don't do that. Like, why would y'all send me to the hospital? Like, this is not adding up. Like, no, that doesn't make sense. So now I'm realizing I'm taught. By that time, I feel so weak. I haven't eaten in 3 days. I'm not sure. I had just came back from New York seeing my dad. So I couldn't understand what's going on with my body because I eat well. Like, why would I be sick? And to hear you got to go to the hospital, I'm like, okay, well, let me go. So it's like 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't drive, so I take an Uber to the hospital, and I'm still saying, "Why y'all sending me to the hospital? Like, what's up? What's up? Why y'all sending me to the hospital? Because I know I ain't safe for me to go." So when I get there, they tell me that what's my symptoms? I said my throat is really sore. I'm having a hard time breathing. So I'm thinking it's the C word. I ain't gonna say that word that everybody's
Yeah.
scared of.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
they, I'm thinking it's, the vid. So so she said, like, can we swab you? I was like, well, let me swab myself. So, you put in your nose, swab, and she was like, oh, test results came back. You don't have that. Your throat, you don't have nothing with your throat. Like, we don't know what's going on. Soon as she said that, I clearly heard the angel say, "You caught a virus when you was on the plane, and it's very contagious." So I'm like, I think I have a virus. And she was like, okay, all right. And just as I said that, I started getting very dizzy and like I felt like I was gonna fall out the bed because I'm sitting on the bed and I'm like, what's going on? And I'm panicking and I'm like, oh my God, I'm like, angels, y'all sent me here. What in the world is going on? And I had to remember, even if it looked like it's going left, it's going right. Like when you follow the nudge and the guidance, even if it looks like it's going in a different direction, just trust the process. So I had to talk myself into stop giving into what it looks like because it's looking crazy right now. And
Mhm.
so I tell the nurse, I said, why am I feeling dizzy? But she was like, oh, let's go get some Benadryl. Benadryl. Maybe you have an allergic reaction to something. The angel was like, no Benadryl. You're not having an allergic reaction. Your equilibrium is off. I didn't even know what the heck that was. I'm like, nurse, my equilibrium is off. So listen to this. She says to me, "You just heard that?" I'm like, "How she know I heard that?" And I didn't say it. I just said, "Yes, I did." And she said, "Okay, we got to give you some medicine to balance it back out." She came back. She gave me some medicine for that. They gave me an IV because they said I was dehydrated. I guess because I hadn't been eating for 3 days or whatever. And I literally told them everything that was going on with me. They didn't tell me anything. They didn't tell me one thing. I literally got all the guidance from the angels as far as what was going on. But by the time I got home, I was 100% better. So I don't know how I got better when a virus is something that has to leave you. You can't, there's nothing you could take for a virus. So I'm clear they took me from my home by telling me to go to the hospital. Whatever happened, I'm not sure, but I came back feeling 100% better.
Yeah,
So I
because I
just,
know when I called last Wednesday, you just couldn't make it, and
I thought it was time to go. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, okay, I got
you
everything
were out of
going
your
on.
element. That's for sure.
Right. I didn't know what, but I followed the guidance and I'm not sure. I'm not even sure how did I get better when a virus is something that has to leave in a couple of days. But all I know is that I got better instantly.
I gotta ask you about these how this angel comes to you. But before, I do want to thank Taylor BTV to remind us that this month is National Suicide Prevention Month. Call, text, or dial 988 for suicide and crisis line. This is very important. So for some of you who feel you're on the edge, because there's so much pressure on people now, to me,
Yes.
so unnecessarily, whether it's trying to pay a bill, pay rent, feeding their family, losing a job, what am I going to do? Or they have no one to turn to, which is the reason why it's important to have family, which is why almost the projection now is not having a family. Just you can do
Right.
everything yourself, which is not true. So to Taylor BTV, Taylor BTV, thank you so much for this. Again, for those of you, now, there may be some of you who are not going through this, but you might have a relative or a friend or a loved one or associate or a coworker. Please share with them that this is it. But you know what's interesting? And you got sick around late August, September. Would that be correct?
It was a week ago.
Yeah, that would be around late August, September, because you are a Pisces.
Hmm.
This is my spin on it because, this is what I do, numbers and astrology. But
Right.
the opposition sign for all Pisces is late August into the month of September. So that's
Mm.
what I'm saying. I know that ain't got nothing to do, but
No,
I'm
no, but I get it. Yes.
before we continue too, I want to ask a question, but I have an interesting question that's just come up. The lady who says, "Oh my God, I see angel number 101." But before I bring that on, when this angel or spirit guide come to you, does it come in one side of the ear, or it's just that you hear it in your head, or you? I'm not trying
So
to get no secrets.
yeah, no. That's an excellent question, Lloyd. So the way that I hear the angels communicating with me is it's like a down, like the only way I can explain it is like a download. Like it just like something that just pops in your head that you weren't thinking and you weren't. Why would I say this to myself? Like it doesn't make sense. And and it's just a very soft voice. Like you don't really hear the voice, you feel the energy of it. So you could
That's
you
interesting.
hear it, you hear the communication. I can clearly hear the communication, but not a voice. It's not like the way you and I are talking. I can hear it's like telepathy. I can hear it, but I can't attach a voice to the angels communicating with me because I'm not hearing a voice. I'm hearing I'm just hearing it. That's the only way I can explain it. And yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, well, sometimes there's certain things that really can't be explained in a way that makes sense to people. As evidently something you must feel or sense, I would imagine, in addition to.
Yeah,
But
and but we all get nudges. I just, the angel said they'll nudge us in certain directions, and sometimes we don't listen to the nudges because the brain is very, you know, the brain will talk us out of it. The angel always
yeah,
said that,
oh, that's so silly.
right?
Like
It
you
makes
got
no
the
sense,
impression about moving to Virginia at your age at that time, like I don't know
right?
nothing, nobody in Virginia. I'm out of New York.
Right. Yeah, but I mean, God has angels assisting us on this earth. Like we're not alone. We're in and so many times I felt so alone because I remember saying that to the angels. I was like, "Well, where were you when this was happening? And where were you when that was happening?" And they said, "We were right here, but we can't interfere with your free will of what you're creating that's assisting you with the bigger picture." And you weren't born with a silver spoon in your mouth, and you are here, they come to you to get the guidance to heal. And most healers have been through a lot of pain, and I was like, okay. I'd rather have skipped all of that, but I guess not. So, but we all can get in a lot of messages they give us in our dreams and our sleep state. Don't take those dreams lightly, like, oh, that was just a dream. No, don't do that. Write that stuff down and watch how things begin to play out. And the more that you write down your dreams, the more they keep coming to you with, okay, don't do this, or okay, you was getting ready to go to that job. That's not the job. Go to this job. And they'll keep giving you the messages to assist you because we're not alone.
So you're saying or suggesting that ideally, if possible, people should keep a dream journal next to them.
Absolutely. I get flooded with messages in my sleep. I remember telling them because they're the ones who told me you got to sleep more at night if you want to look young forever. So it was like, if you want to look young, you got to stop staying up all night in the wee hours of the
Yeah,
morning.
but
So
see, you're born under a night number.
right. So I'm
Does
like,
that make sense?
right. I'm saying, well, y'all gotta start waking me up with the messages. Y'all wake me up and tell me to get beauty sleep. So yeah, but I would say sleep with a dream journal. And
Yeah,
even if it's just like one word, just write it down. A sentence. You'll know it's not you because they wake you up and you'll hear it. You go to the restroom and you'll hear it. And it may seem like it's your thought because it's in your head. So it seems like it's coming
right,
from,
right,
but
right.
it's not. Just write it down. And what I do is I say, okay, give me more. What what else? Because they like giving you a little here and a little there. Okay, I want to know everything. So just let me. What else? And I'll say, okay. So you told me. I'll give you this as an example. This is a real example. So they showed me. Hate to tell this secret, but I have to.
Yeah,
They
we ain't gonna
showed
tell
me.
nobody.
They showed me a lottery scratch off, right? Just a scratch off, a regular scratch off. They showed me this in my sleep. So I was like, okay, show me more. Because there was two that looked like I was like, okay, give me more, give me more. If you're saying for me to go and buy this, give me more. So they did. They said, okay, buy this and buy 6 of these. I was like, six? I said, I ain't spending no six. I ain't gonna. It didn't make no sense to me that I was gonna buy 6 of those, and especially because that's not what I do. So I was like, I don't know about that, but I said okay. So I went and I bought 6 of them, and all I can say is that's all she wrote because I was happy that I did that. Okay, so they don't just assist us with; they assist us with everything, whether it's wealth, whether it's health, success, relationships. We're always getting guidance to assist us. And like I said, it's just so happened that I'm a vessel that can bring forth it more directly. Because sometimes I even have to say, okay, mom, can you have a session for me? Because I would like to know exactly what they're talking about. I don't have time to play these riddle games. I want to know exactly what they're talking about.
Well, one thing you said to me that you were mentioning over the last couple of moments is
Hmm.
for me now when I get that, my word will be show me more.
Show me
So
more.
in other words, you're not fighting it or resisting it. It's just show me more.
Yeah, and there's a saying that they gave me to say that that I actually, I wish I would have it right in front of me. I have it, but I have it over there by my couch. And
Can you
I'm gonna-
paraphrase it?
it's okay. Let me see if I can think. Oh wait, I sent it to my cousin. Let me see if she has it. And this is good for everybody to say it in like at night, and you'll get a lot of messages. So let me see if I can get it from her real quick. But let's just continue, and I'll have her send it to me. Um, but 1 second, Lorraine.
Now, while you're doing that, there's somebody who says, "Oh my God, I see angel number 101 all the time. I first saw it in a dream like 6 years ago and still don't know what it means. So if you know, can you please tell her?"
Okay, so can't really tell you exactly what one-on-one means for you because it's gonna mean something different for you than it would be for somebody else. Like it's not the same. Like people think angel numbers. Oh, is how can every number be the same for everybody when we're all on a different path? We're all on a different journey. But I
Right.
do know from the angels that when we keep seeing numbers, the same numbers, one that's them connecting with us, and that could be confirmation. So let's say that right now you're getting ready to buy a new car and you see that number, so they're saying yes, get that car. And they'll it's like a confirmation. It's almost like when you get chills, getting chills is confirmation. So it's like when you get chills, it's like, okay, yeah, you're on the right path. So let's say you're getting ready to move to another state, and all of a sudden on license plate you see 101, then you're like, I'm on the right path. So that's their way of saying you're doing the right thing. You're on your right path. And then it could mean more, but that's the guidance that they give me. So for me, I have a number that they always show me. And whenever I see that number show up, like I actually saw it show up when Lloyd it's the 88. So remember just now you were saying about the suicide
Yeah,
line, and I saw
yeah,
the 18,
988.
and I saw the
Yeah.
18 in that. So I was like, yes, y'all, letting me know, that you're right here with me. So yes, usually them letting you know that they're with you, you're not alone, and that is confirmation that you're on the right
See, now me as a numerologist, if she
path.
sees that all the time, it tells me, see, because there's a conscious and a subconscious, consciously about transitions, especially since they're one, a zero, and a one, because that's the ingredients that made this formula up that she sees. And it means
Hmm.
a way this makes her independent, more self-reliant. She could be in a situation where she could be in a codependent kind of situation, and that nature is saying, well, you need to learn how to stand on your own 2 feet rather than someone else. It could also
Hmm.
subconsciously that she's ready to make a transition with relationships where she's living and things of that nature. It also means astrologically, it could relate to a Cancerian or numerically to anybody born on the 2nd, the 7th, the 11th, the 16th, the 20th, the 25th, or the 29th of any month. But the first number is the most important. It shows how it begins. And the last number is the most important because it tells me how it ends. And the number in the middle is like the bridge between beginning and end. And so since I'm seeing ones, it simply means, again, at some point, being very decisive about what they want to do, regardless of what anybody says. But that's the way I look at it. Anyway, so I just think that's very, very interesting. And you're right, because every number she's not the only one that probably sees that number, but it all relates to the person or the circumstances and whatnot. All right. Okay.
Thank you for asking, Sia.
Did you get that saying? Did your friend get that back to you?
Not yet. She said just
you said you gotta go and get it.
Yeah, I didn't really want to get up and get it.
I'm right there. This will give you a chance to go get it. All right.
Okay.
So no, I need to know what we need to say before we go to bed tonight, right, folks? Right, family? That's what we need to do. We need to see exactly what is said so we can all be got it right. And she's back.
I'm back.
Okay.
What happened to the chat, Lloyd? I don't see anybody in the chat. Are they in the chat? I don't see anybody.
Oh yeah, got people all up in the chat here. Yeah, definitely.
I don't see them for some reason. Okay, so I have it. So this is what they gave. The angels gave me this to write down and to say, and it does. Oh my God, I had this to me. So red is no, green is go. Show me in my sleep what I need to know. So this is when you're not sure about. Yes, they gave me that, and I always know when it's the angels because they always rhyming. I'm like, let me find out your rappers because they always so I'm gonna say it again. So this is like when you're not sure about something. So
yeah, repeat that one more time, please.
Okay, red is no, green is go. Show me in my sleep what I need to know. So that's like you like should I go in this. Should I go in this direction pertaining to the business? So, like, I remember when I asked about something, whatever it was, and they started showing me ketchup. And I'm like, I'm dreaming about ketchup. I'm like, I'm clear. Don't do it. Okay, thank you. You ain't got to show me nothing. I'm clear.
Because ketchup is obviously red, not green.
Right. So, red is no. Red is no. Red is no. So, yeah. So, in the morning,
I'm so sorry. I mean, it's
the more that we start communicating with our angels and talking to our angels, the more guidance that they give us. Oh, speaking of that, I'm going to give a shout out to Curtis Pearson. He's a client of mine for over, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 years. He gave $300, $100 each for anybody who would like to have a session with the angels to help the system with their sessions. So they get to have $100 and it's for 3 people and we'll figure out how to give it away. But I did want to give him a shout out for giving that donation to everybody.
Well, you know what's interesting? Underneath it says, this is right on time. I'm grateful for Jamila Shabazz. I just turned on YouTube and your show popped up. I was quite interested in watching right now, but something wouldn't let me turn away. Isn't that interesting?
Thank you. Yes, that's interesting. He has my father's middle name. His middle name is my father's first name, James.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Hold up. Now, if you don't mind, I need you to say it one more time. And then when the show is over, we're going to say it one more time. I want to make sure people get it. It's simply, okay? Can you repeat what you just said from what was told you?
I keep this right under my pillow. Okay. Red is no, green is go. Show me in my sleep what I need to know. But now again, this is when you have a question. Should I do this? Should I not do this? Should you know, everybody like to do those dating apps. So let's say Tommy Joe. Angels, should I be messing with Tommy Joe? Red is no, green is go.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah.
And you know, we all have questions throughout our lives about this
Yes,
situation, that situation, employment, stepping out on faith, all
yes.
kinds of things. So that's going to be my working formula. When I got something on my brain, it's like red is no, green is go. And what's the
Tell me
rest of
in
it?
my tell me in my sleep.
What I need to know.
You got it.
All right, that's it. That's it. That's gonna be my working formula from here on out.
Because see,
Seriously.
that's the way they communicate with us a lot because the brain is out the way. It's trying to reason in and saying, like, oh, the brain gets in the way and it dumbs the intuition down. So in our sleep state, for sure it's not coming from yourself because you're asleep. So that's when they tend to be able to give us the messages the most. And for people who say, but I don't dream and da 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 da, all you have to get is an amethyst crystal, something that like this small,
Hold
and
on.
just sleep with
Let
it.
me put you on full blast there a second.
Okay,
Okay.
like this small, and sleep with the amethyst in your hand, and that assists with you remembering your dreams.
Okay. Okay. You know, we're gonna repeat that one more time before
Okay.
Go Bless says I see lots of one ones, 111, triple fours, triple nines, 1119, 1212, 20. Now, what happens when a person in this case sees a series of numbers or whatever the case is? She says the past few months, she's a life path 9 and always close her eyes and say a prayer and be grateful for everything that I have to listen. What say you, sister?
So, yeah, I've never seen anybody who sees a continuous of the same numbers like that. So I'm not, that's probably something the angels would know. Because I don't know all of the answers, but I know the angels know they have all the answers. But that's amazing. I've never seen anybody who would constantly see the same, numbers like that. What do you feel, Lloyd? What can you?
I see the numbers. I see a montage of three, sixes, and nines, which tells me either this person is born somewhere around March, April, or May, or October, November, December, or born on a day such as the 3rd, the 6th, the 9th, the 12th, the 15th, the 18th, the 21st, 24th, 27th, or 30th of the month.
Mm,
The exception of that is the very first number. That's 4. But the 444 is 12. That's 3. 333 is 9. That's 6. Then 1119 is 12. That's 3. Then 1212. That's 6. Then on top of it, it ends off on 222, which is 6. So since 6 is the predominant number, this person could be born on the 6th, 15th, or 24th, or coming under the sign of. See, I get off on this. See, Taurus or Libra. You know what
right.
I'm saying? But anyway, and then her life path or their life path is a 9 on top of that, you know. And then if you notice the number embellished within the metal there is 3, 6, and 9. So I mean, coincidence maybe. You and I know there are no coincidences in that sense. It's just how do we interpret these things?
Right, right. Yeah. So as you're talking, I'm getting guidance. So that's what I always say when I'm hearing the angels. So I'm actually hearing them speak to me now,
Hmm.
and I'm hearing them say, "Well, tell them everything, like as far as how to they can remember their dreams." Because that was what I recall. But one of the other things is to keep your phone out of your room where you sleep. Um, so, like if you have a keep it in your bathroom, don't keep it in your drawer like next to your bed. None of that. It has to be in another room. I know that's hard. I know that's hard, but I'm telling you the guidance that's
Yeah,
coming
'cause
through.
some people sleep within inches of their phone, from what
Well,
I.
don't sleep with it in your bed ever, because that's health problems down the road. So that's the worst thing you can do. And I didn't even realize it until I started getting all these headaches. And they were like, "Well, why would you not think you're going to get headaches when you keep sleeping with the phone under your pillow?" So yeah, so that don't ever sleep with your phone. But okay, so the phone has to be in a completely different room, and this is really to assist you with remembering, what's coming through at night. And eating, you don't want to eat. like late. You want to stop at a certain point, like maybe like 6 o'clock if you go to bed at 9. You want to like, make sure you don't eat and sleep because that 100% interferes with the dreams. So you want to make sure that you space it out. So I would say like if you go to sleep at 9, then stop your last meal at 6 o'clock and don't go downstairs and get some cookies out the refrigerator and all that stuff. Like everything is done
You know, we
except water. Yeah, you can have some water. That's it. Party's over.
It's like, whoa, man, water.
So that's something else that will assist in you being able to recall the messages that come to you.
All right, this is great. I'm enjoying this. That's all I'm saying. And Mo Bless said thank you in advance.
You're welcome.
Oh, Rashida Diva 22 says, do you remember what the angels tell people?
Rashida Diva, let us know what the angels tell people. Go ahead, write it in their chat.
Yeah, because I'm kind of looking at it, which means to me, I'm interpreting how she's saying that when you give a person a session and allow the angels come through to express what that person needs to know. Do you remember?
Oh, do I remember?
I
Oh no, I'm in an unconscious state. Oh, I thought she was okay. I'm in an unconscious state. So, let's say when you had your session, you and the angels know what happened. I would have to ask you, Lloyd, what did the angels tell you? And if you want to share, great. But if you don't, then that's I don't have any memory of what takes place between you and the angels. And I had a problem with that. Thank you. I love you too. I had a problem with that. I was like, I remember when I first started doing this work and I realized I didn't recall anything. I was like, oh no, that's gonna be a problem. I'm in the need to know.
Imagine how big your head would be trying to tell people.
I was like, no, I gotta know because I gotta make sure you're telling them the right thing. Like it was like you gotta release control. You gotta release control. You gotta embrace trust.
Funny.
And you're not gonna know. You're not gonna know. However you want to. I was like, come on, just a little bit. No, you're not gonna know. So yeah.
Okay, good. That answers that. Here's an interesting question: what makes a good client? Does that make sense?
Hey James. So we all good clients. But what I would say makes a good client is someone who is open to the guidance as far as, let's say, I'm just making this up. Let's say the angels say, well, the reason why you're stuck is because you don't like yourself. Okay. That's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah, I mean, who want to hear that? Okay.
Right. But they're not there. But they don't leave you with that. They say, okay, now this is how you're gonna love yourself. This is what you're gonna. So that's why I love angel guidance because they don't leave you like, oh, well, this is what's happening. Go deal with that on your own. See you later. No, it's like, okay, so that's what's going on, and this is how we shift it. This is what you do to now bring yourself in alignment with loving yourself. So what makes somebody a good client is somebody who's willing to do the work if it's required to get them to wherever they choosing to go.
That's interesting.
So what did the angel tell you in your session, Lloyd?
I got to think about it. I have a whole lot going on in my head. So.
Thank you. Thank you.
The people are so nice. They're giving out all these hearts. I'm so jealous. It's great.
I love you, Naila. No, I saw the other name. Love you, Yellow. The positive, uplifting energy always leave an impact. Oh, thank you. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. How do you pronounce that, Lloyd?
Shupa Floribert.
Okay. You almost got it. Love you.
Yeah. This is nice. Oh, here's an interesting question. Do angelic guidance use nature such as animals? That's a great, and notice it's Chief Wise Bear.
I love that. Chief Wise Bear. That feels good. Do the angel guidance use nature such as animals? I wonder. I'm not because remember I'm not privileged to people's sessions, but I do know that Um, I'm not sure. I don't want to make up stuff, but I'm just trying to think of anything they ever gave me pertaining to. Well, they always talk about how, like we have like animals that are a part of, like they come to assist us in some way. I've heard them say that. I recently just, got a Great Dane, and yeah, my son had one that's like mine. So now I have my own, and I'm clear. So let me share how that came. So now this is the thing: when you open up yourself to guidance, everything comes. Everything comes. Like literally, you're an open vessel to know. Take this step. Take that step. So I was sleeping, minding my own business as usual.
Of course, of course.
Of course. Let me make that clear. And so now, okay, I don't know, if anybody know about the what is that Young Thug trial in Atlanta. I wasn't familiar with it until, started popping up on our feed. And we get a little nosy and we start, looking and seeing what it's about. But anyway, so then I get this guidance from one of the people that's on the show. I mean, the show. Well, it is like a show, that whole Atlanta trial. But anyway, he's a part of the trial. So his name is Little Woody. So now, in my sleep, he comes to me and he says, "Time to go ahead and get that dog you want." I'm like, "Yeah, I already got a dog right now." And it was like, "You moving into your house? What you waiting for? Why are you waiting?" Like, and it was so funny because he was like, "The angels always give you not to wait. If you're choosing to do something, do it now. Don't wait. Why are you not listening to your own guidance?" And this is what's coming to me in my sleep as a dream from Little Woody, who I don't know. He's on this Young Thug trial, and I'm like, okay. So I followed the nudge that was given in my sleep. I started looking up, getting a Great Dane, started, doing my Google search, reached out to a couple of people. And lo and behold, my sister said, "Jamila, um, so and so, she just had a whole, litter of Great Danes. Just reach out and see." And here we are. We got the Great Dane. But it came from that message in my sleep. And everybody wanted, like, because a Great Dane, everybody wanted, like, one person was asking for $3,000. And not that I don't have it, but
Whoa.
they was asking for a lot, please free, So I was like, okay, I was willing to go because I remember that night. I was like, okay, I'll go and get the Great Dane. And this particular way that I went, I got it for $300. So I just say follow the nudges, how they show up, and how if it's guidance. It will never be like, do this or else. That's not guidance, because guidance is not going to put you in a predicament where you're going to feel scared, or if I don't do this, what's going to happen? No, it's not that. So if you get a message like that, don't pay that any mind. And it's always going to feel like love. It's going to feel like love. It's going to feel like you're being assisted. If you're getting what you feel is a nudge to do something, and it's not from a place, it's not connecting to love, they feel like you're hurting somebody or doing something, that's not guidance. You gotta work on something, because that's not guidance.
That makes sense. This person here says for nearly 45 years, their number is 512, and it's everywhere. So when I see a number that constantly comes up, like the number I see often will add up to a 7. So when I looked at the flyer of you, Dr. Delbert, and myself, the
Mhm.
first thing that struck out to me was it was in 2014, which is a 7, you know? So for me, if she's been seeing the numbers this long, which adds up to an 8, to me, numerically, astrologically speaking, this person is either a Capricorn or an Aquarius or Libra,
Mhm.
all born on the 4th, the 8th, the 13th, the 17th, the 22nd, or the 26th or 31st of any month. And 8 is always about business. It's about maturity. It's about legacy. It rules the 8th house and astrology, which deals with death and philosophies and things relating to birth and life and death and things of that nature. Um, so it's just very, very interesting. So anyway, Now, Sister Angelo Nelson says, Sister Mara says, you know, it's creator. What you say doesn't make sense.
You know, it's creative and what you say.
Yeah, like when you told me when you were young in New York, and some says go to Virginia. That didn't make no sense, right?
It made zero sense.
Yeah, it
It
was
made
great.
zero. It made zero sense. Exactly. It made zero, and that's when you know. That is when you know because the brain wants to make sense of it. Well, why would you go to? You have a job. You working. Da 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 da. Like you're just gonna pick up and leave, and your children in school. Like it didn't make sense. But
Did you
if
have
I
family in Virginia?
no, I didn't have family in Virginia. My son, he was going to Norfolk State, but nobody wanted to go to backwoods Virginia.
Oh, New York, I understand because I went to Virginia. I definitely understand that.
Right,
Mhm.
right. So, but yeah.
Now, Bernadette Coleman says, I might keep it a little bit past the hour if you don't mind, because there's so many responses. This is amazing. I'm inconsistent side of 333, 444, and 555, which is very interesting because all of them add up to a 9 and a 3 and then a 6. 3, 6, and 9. That's exactly what it is. While in the kitchen, juicing daily for life, or feeling gratefulness in the moment. But it's interesting because Nikola Tesla says those who understand the 369 understand the universe, Bernadette Coleman. So maybe there is something for you that's interesting. But it's interesting that she should see all the numbers that add up to a 3, 6, or 9. Now, this person here that we just mentioned, spiritual advisor, how do you balance the intuitive guidance you provide with practical advice, especially for clients facing immediate real world situations? That's interesting. As a spiritual advisor, how do you balance the intuitive guidance you provide with practical advice?
Okay, so so the guidance is going to be different than what I would get. So let's say that somebody came to me with an emergency, and their emergency is that um, they just found out that their husband or their, is has stepped out or whatever. So, and they're crying and they're dealing with this, and I'm an empath, so I'm feeling whatever they're feeling, and I'm gonna give them my practical advice, which is leave him, forget him, let's go. We moving on. Let's see how we can make this happen and move on. But the guidance may not be that. The guidance might be y'all came together for this. This is what you have to get out of it. This is what you come to learn through this. See, I don't have all that. My thing is forget him, let's go. That would be my practical advice. But guidance is connected to not just this life, your past life, it's connected to your spiritual path, it's connected to so much more than what I could see out of my physical eyes. So sometimes when people come to me directly, I'll say, this is from me, Jamila Shabazz. When you want guidance, you got to get guidance, but this is coming directly from me. I'm making it clear. This is not guidance. Because sometimes I have to let people know this is not guidance. This is coming from me. This is what I would do. So, yeah.
Now, here's an interesting somebody picked up on your story about show me more. Angels let me know too about them scratch offs. I need it. And maybe they need to take the step. You know, you know what I think is interesting about what you described as very valuable if people are paying attention, that instead of you snapping out of the dream, which is okay, let me pick up my phone or do whatever the case is, you probably stayed in that state for which you woke up, but then says, show me more, and probably just relax, and it showed you more.
And
Or
it
it
shows.
could have been in the middle of the night or something. See, I don't know the circumstances, but it sounds like something happened and it maybe woke up, whether it's to get some water or whatever the case may be, but it made you. I like that technique. Show me more. I'm going to use that too in the color red, color green.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes. And sometimes it may not come that same night. Sometimes it may come the next day, the next night when you go to sleep. And sometimes it may come during the day. So that's why it's important to just, you know, be when you hear a thought that's not your thought, it's important to just write it down. You know it's not your thought, so just write it down. I love you, Yellow.
Yellow Shabazz says, "Show me more." I think that's use it. And even this person says, the way 69 says, "I will use it." Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
We listen. Right now, everybody needs all the help they can get their hands on. Okay, and there are a lot of things that goes past the normal five senses, as we know of sight, see, smell, taste, all that stuff.
right.
And we do have guides. And they found in times of war, in crisis situations, people have looked for signs, something, and something is always guiding us until it's over. Until we call home.
And
Uh,
another thing, like they'll come to us to assist us with our children, our mom. I remember me and my mom were not talking at this time. This is way before my healing process. And excuse me, this is way before my healing process. And um, they woke me up and they said something about like she had to I believe it was forgive herself. Well, I believe it was forgive herself. That's something like that. And we weren't talking, so I didn't understand why did I get a message to give to her when I'm not talking to her. Like, give it to her directly. Why are you giving it to me? And this is way before I started doing this work that I'm doing. I was like in my teenage years, and I
mhm.
didn't call my mom and I said, the answer to your question is you have to forgive yourself. And she started screaming and crying. And she was like, I just
Really?
had said a prayer to ask, why am I stuck? And she said, you came with the answer. And I'm glad I didn't get in the way because I was almost like, I'm not talking to her. You tell her, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
But
yeah.
but I did do, so they'll give us messages to assist our family. I remember one time my son was with, his brother, and they kept showing me in my sleep like boxing and fighting. And I'm like, I called my son, I said, everything okay? Because I keep seeing this boxing and I keep feeling, your brother. And he said, yeah, there's something going on, but I got it under control, mom. So at that point, as a mom, I just started praying for his protection, protect, praying that he's safe. Because
Sure.
once they start showing you stuff and it doesn't feel like, oh my God, I don't want that to happen, don't go in that mode. Just pray. There's God can assist. Just pray. Just pray. If you see something that you don't want to happen, pray for it to shift. And and the angels, they'll give us, okay, you can shift that. Nothing is set in stone. Do this, say that. They'll like, how people say affirmations. Well, they don't say affirmations, they say knowings because they say that the knowing is connected to your crown chakra and the crown chakra is connected to the divine. So they'll say, we'll give you a knowing and now say this knowing over and over and it will shift the energy and now everything is fine. And they do that all the time. So nothing is set in stone. Even if you see something in your dream and you're like, oh my God, I don't want that to happen. Don't. You're the powerful creator of your life. You get to choose.
Interesting. Now, the same person also says, Jamila, what are your most significant challenges you faced in transforming communities, and how do you maintain hope and motivation in the face of systematic obstacles?
Well, the thing I would say is the judgment is really, really strong on this planet. Like judging everybody is what's whole. I feel like it interferes with our growth, with us being able to make changes and be able to assist each other because we're so busy. That was one of the things they had to assist me with. And I remember them telling my mom, tell your daughter, this is one time I had her have a session to ask some questions from me. They said, tell your daughter that if she sees somebody climbing a wall naked, keep her judgment to herself. Because when you judging others, of course, you're judging yourself. You're lowering your own vibration. You're dimming your own light. Like that, his path what you just see has nothing to do with you. And if you feel like that person require prayer, pray for them. But the worst thing you could do is judge them. So I feel like that's one of the things. Like if they put me in charge and say, okay, it's time to change the world, that would be the biggest thing that I would have to begin to assist people in working on. And then to know that we are the powerful creators of our journey with God assisting us. We're doing this. Like, nothing is set in stone. I don't care what happens. I don't care what disease a doctor says you have. Nothing is set in stone. We have to really know the power we have within. So if I can change the world, those are some of the things that I would bring forth.
This person, Cheryl Herb, says, I keep seeing white feathers in my house. I caught one in my hand. Is this my angel trying to contact me? What do I do when this happens? I do not have feathered pillows, which is interesting.
So I would say that it's either your angels trying to connect with you or a loved one trying to connect with you, because they do use feathers. Our loved ones, like that has crossover and went to the light, they use feathers to try to connect with us, to say we're here with you. And our angels, they use numbers a lot, but I'm sure they use other symbols as well. But I know our loved ones for sure uses feathers.
That's interesting, because there are all kinds of ways that angels come to us. Yours through a voice, perhaps hers through a feather, perhaps others through a
Right.
sound or smell. So I think it would appear to me that it's not, well, oh, they're all going to come through a voice. It might come through a sound or a feeling that you get. Or
Right. And that's funny that you said that, Lord, because a lot of times you're thinking that you're going to hear it, and unless you have like a strong telepathy, you may not hear it the way I hear it. But one thing for sure, they will let you feel it. They will let you feel it. And I was watching this thing on YouTube where the girl, it was funny that I ran across this, because the angel said we tried to warn her. So it was like, she was a young girl. I'm not sure, maybe 10, 11. No, that's too young. Maybe preteen. And she was walking, and she said it. And when they entered, the news interviewed her. She said, I heard cross the street. She said she heard that. Where would she get that from? So she heard that. She said, but it didn't make sense because I was right next to my house. So I didn't cross the street. And as soon as I got 2 feet further, the man grabbed me, put me in his car, and kidnapped me. But she heard it
Oh.
before. Yeah, she heard it before she got to that car. She heard it cross the street. This is what I really would like people to understand. Guidance, most times, it's not going to make sense. You got to just trust. You got to just trust. And so she told her story. She said she was able to get away. They were able to catch him, and he went to jail. But she went through hell being kidnapped. And she always talk about, and it's on YouTube, she always talk about how the voice told me not to walk straight, to cross the street and then cross back over. And I didn't listen to it. And I'm not saying, something bad is going to happen if you don't listen. What I am saying is pay attention and follow the guidance.
And remember when you said things don't make sense, because why should you cross the street when our house is right there?
When your house is right there. And I remember one time I was in New York, Lloyd. Everybody know when the payphones, back in the days, the payphones was on the corner or whatever. So the payphone, I was going to make a phone call. It was like about 8 or 9 o'clock at night. And the payphone was literally just the corner. So I had to just go to the corner. And I clearly heard, don't go to that one. And I'm like, who wants to walk 5 blocks to go find a payphone? And I said, I do.
They were far and few between too. Yeah,
Right. And so I never knew for years what I didn't know what
you didn't need to know.
I didn't need to know. Sometimes you're not going to know. You're not going to know. And it was just me being nosy at some point. Like recently, I was like, what was that about? And they showed me like this man putting his hand over my mouth and dragging me. And I was like, thank you.
Mm-hmm. This is our only donation, but I want to acknowledge James Johnson. He is a fire sign with a fire number. His numbers are the 1, 4, and 3. His best days are Sunday and Tuesday. It's actually Sunday, Thursday, and Tuesday in that order. And his best times of the year is always in the months of February, March, April, August, and November. December. Those would be his best times. And he happens to be in a 3-person year when I took 12-1 added to year 2024. So this should have been a very busy year for you, James, but it indicates coming up around the corner it means you're going to have to hit the brakes, put your shoulders to the wheel, but what you put in is what you get back. And thank you so much for the donation. All
All
righty.
right, so let's give away this money. We have 3 $100 bills to give away. How are we gonna do this, Lloyd?
Oh, seriously? We,
Yeah, so they can have, it's going to be towards their session. So sessions, okay, so let me tell you about the sessions. So the sessions are 10 minutes, 15, 20, 25, and 30 minutes. And then the prices range from that. So you'll have $100 towards your session with the angels. And how are we going to give it away, Lloyd?
okay, here's what we do. First of
Okay.
all, let us acknowledge the person who made this gift so people are very clear who that individual is. Can you say that, please?
Yes, his name is Curtis Pearson and Curtis Pearson Shabazz, I believe. And he's
Curtis
with,
Pearson, thank you so much for those acts of kindness. There's nothing, that's the beauty when you do acts of kindness. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And you never know. He might need his money much as somebody else, but to do that. Now that I'm just finding out at this time, I really don't know what to do because we passed so
Oh,
many.
you know what? Okay, I know what they can do. What's
Good.
the number? The number that you gave them, that number, the first 3 people that text that number. Do you remember the number that you gave them? That's on, let's put up the number again, Lloyd. Let's put up the number. See, some people already have it. 'Cause I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it in my third eye. I'm seeing them already.
Well, the first number that came to me was
So,
101.
no, my phone. Remember the phone number? What you?
Oh,
Yeah,
988.
yeah. Okay, put it up. You know how you put it up on the screen where you put um Jamila Shabazz, Angel Guidance, da 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 da, and it says
Oh,
what I
my moderator, there goes. And in fact, the one just said it, 988.
nope, not that number. The number, the phone number. So when you put up the thing and it says a little bit about me, then it has my Cash App and it has my phone number and it has my Instagram and it has everything. That one. Can we put that up?
Ta-da.
Okay. So so even if you text me already, because I know some people already got the number, you don't know what I was gonna say to text, so I'm gonna start it all over.
So is
So
it the area code or the first or the exchange
that's
number?
333. Okay, so the first, okay, you know what? I'm gonna make it a little
323. You mean?
323. Yes. Okay,
Yes.
so I'm gonna make it a little complicated. Okay, so I want you to text me. Let me see. Just text the word angels with 3 hearts. And now these are the people I'm going to pick: the 8th person, the 4th person, and the 3rd person.
Okay, good. I'm going to
And,
let you work that out, dear. That's what I'm going to do. But listen, we ain't even talk about the wealth party, but that's going to come at another time. And we need to explain there's a process involved. It ain't everybody can just come in with the party, think they're going to walk away with some ducats and stuff like that. No, there's a big
right.
process. And I mean, I was so busy all in your business to listen to you weave these stories. It's fascinating to me. Now, there's 2 things I learned, which is when we have these dreams or feelings, is tell me more or show me more. Which one you use? Tell me more or show me more?
Tell me more. But you
Tell
can
me
say
more.
show me more, but I say tell me more because they know what we're talking about. Just give
Yeah,
me some
tell me
more.
more.
Give me some more
Okay.
information.
Okay. Now,
Mhm.
now I'm going to try to repeat what you just said from that card that you keep.
Okay.
Red is no, green is slow. Tell me in my dream what I need to know.
And what did you say? Green is what?
Green is go. So
Yes.
red
Okay.
is no, green is go. Tell me in my dream what I need to know.
Yes. And if
I
you know
said,
when you
I don't know whether I said it word for word. I want to
no,
exact.
That's it. You did it. You did it.
Okay, so red is no, green is go. Tell me in my dream what I need to know.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
All right,
That's
okay. I'm gonna, I'm gonna work on it, boy. I'll be calling you 4:30 in the morning, 5:30 this morning, girl.
So, but just about the wealth party. So, I give the wealth party every 2 years. I am going to be giving it in 2025. And it is where the angels are working with you to create wealth, but it's more than that. It's like shedding anything that's blocking your path from having the wealth. I don't have a lot of spaces because I like to make sure that the angel can work intimately with everybody. So it's a limited amount of spaces, but you do have to be a client to be eligible to be a part of the wealth party. And that's it.
How do they become a client, my dear?
When they have a session with the angel.
That makes perfect sense to me.
Yeah. Because that way, if there's something that has to be shifting, you already, you're not like starting from zero coming to the wealth party. You've already been working with the angel. The angel's already giving you stuff to work on. So you're not like starting at zero.
Okay, okay, good. Listen, love you much, Jamila. This was
Love you
great.
too.
Hold up. Let me do something before we do this. And this was us 10 years ago this month.
10 years ago? That was me 10
Huh.
years ago? All
Oh
right,
yeah. Oh yeah.
Jamila.
Looking gorgeous, girl. Okay.
Thank you.
And the only one is brother Delbert Blair is no longer with us, rest his soul.
Yeah,
But the man was a genius, a
yeah,
literal genius in his
yeah.
way. And I was blessed that I was blessed to be a part of that experience. And who would have known that at 15 I would meet you in these years, and now 10 years later, everything is cyclical, it appears.
Yeah. So before we leave, I would just like to give thanks to God and the angels for my mom and my dad who gave me life, Rashida Shabazz and James Tyson, and to the love of my life, my children. And I'm not gonna mention all their names. I don't want you stalking them. Don't be stalking my kids, but they know who they are.
You're fun. We promise me at some point in 2025, when you are ready to have this, hopefully those of you go get your readings from Jamila. So this way, when she gives it, y'all are not in the dark about you need to be a client, because then you're overwhelming. That's like everybody want to come to the party and whatnot. So don't overwhelm the sister. So schedule an appointment. There's her number to contact her. 323-396-9878. Her cash app is $ beautiful Jamila. Got that right. And at beautiful Jamila. Got that right again. All right.
Okay, wait, can I just say something real quick? Real
Please do.
quick, Lord.
Please do. Please do.
So, you know how I say the angels say, like, you got to work on stuff sometime to get you where you have to go. And
Mhm.
sometimes it may look like it's something major, and sometimes it may not be as major as you think. So, one of the things that they kept saying to me was like, you got to stop looking at yourself like that. And the way that I was looking at myself was like, I did not see the beauty in myself. So they would always say, why do you think your mom, you picked that name, but your mom assists you with it? Because Jamila means beautiful. So you already came to earth with the energy, but you got to be in alignment with it. And I never felt it. I never felt it, no matter how getting your nails done and getting your hair done, that doesn't make you feel beautiful. You have to really feel it, right? So
Inside.
they would constantly say, you still don't feel beautiful. And I'm like, how long are we gonna be doing this? I thought I felt beautiful already. Like, what are we doing? Why we keep doing this? And then they had me put pictures all everywhere of myself, all around. They were like, we're gonna shift this energy. You're gonna feel beautiful in this life. So they had me I had to blow up pictures, put them all over the house. Then they had me write on all the mirrors, Jamila is beautiful. Jamila is beautiful. To the point when I'm dreaming, I'm hearing, you're beautiful. Like it's going in myself. And, so I want to thank the angels for allowing me to see who I really am, because I did not see, I knew my inner beauty, but I didn't know, like, I didn't see what everybody else saw. And it was blocking a lot, because if you don't feel a certain way about yourself, then you don't deserve things. So it was blocking a lot. I'm so grateful that block is gone, because I got about everything I choose to have. But I'm just so grateful. And I'm grateful for your audience tuning in. Thank you so much.
And I say, my sister, I love you much, Jamila. Thank you so much. This
Love
was
you.
great. This was great. Okay. So
Okay.
y'all make sure that y'all get all this information, write down a phone number, definitely send some cash app, Venmo. but more importantly, schedule an appointment so you can be a part of her contacts. That's the only way you'll be able to get into the party. Okay. You got to be in it to win it, as they used to say. I don't know what they still say that, but that is the point. So, everybody, I do want to thank you very, very much. And before I do, let me acknowledge all the sponsors. Of course, I will work backwards. I'm going to start with Portia Cooper, who is having her seminar coming up on this Saturday, the 7th. So please, if you see at the bottom line, register at bloomlife.me, M-E, bloomlife.me, register. And what she's going to do, she's going to do 4 sessions for that low fee. Y'all need to be there. And especially it's about making money too. And so this way you can show you more. Also, in addition to that, let me see, I want to also acknowledge also Manifest on Purpose with Miss Kimberly. And it's every Monday and Wednesday. Thank her for sponsoring the show. She is a great storyteller. She reminds me pretty much of Iyanla Van Zandt telling a story, but they're both number 4. So maybe that's got something to do with it. Very odd and unusual. Also, Nicholas Brooklyn with Monique and Sister Kafunya. That is very important. They're at 1396 Fulton Street. Visit Islam. I would like to call him a doctor. He might as well be a doctor with his brilliant self. But when you order his products, please put the code in numbers, okay? And to finally, my buddy King Simon, who is having his event coming up next month. And the time will be here before we know it. I give an ancestral tribute and salute to Baba Dick Gregory. So before I go, I do want to let you know that today is the last. Where is it? Where is it? Where am I? Today is the last day. My class is on sale. Did I have it? Oh, man. So anyway, go to Linktree, LINK tree, tr.ee/numbers in you and sign on. I think you can get all courses for under $35 or something like that. I just knew I'd put it up here. Well, welcome to being human. I forget to promote myself. I got to be more on that, okay? But I will promote the fact that the newsletter for September is out and it is absolutely free. All you do is go to either Linktree/numbers in you or Lloyd-Strayhorn.com and just sign up for it. We do not give away the emails list. I don't sell that. I that's everybody's got their own way. Me, I don't give out your list. I take it very personally, and I'm very honored that you would give that to me. Also, for those of you who don't want to read the predictions, you can hear it on YouTube. You go here, September 24, astrology, astronumerology, horoscopes, all the signs. And that is done by Miss Kimberly and I, who does her podcast. It all started, she just asked me for one day, and it was like at the beginning of the year, and it's been this way every month. So I thank her for that. It's a great idea. It's actually improved my newsletter too, because here's the thing, and let me say this too. One of the viewers wrote me and says that at the end of each sign, you'll see the link that patches you in to listen to the interview on YouTube, right? What I did was I forgot to omit for September reading. And I put April. So ignore. So when it says for April, it's not April. That was one thing that I omit. But there's a lot of components I had to put together that I never had to do before. So bear with me. So when you see it, there's no mistake. So when you click on that link in the timestamp, it will be for September, no other. So this is it here. And this is it where you go and you see the timestamp. Also, Miss Kimberly has now put out every Sunday weekly wisdom. And all you got to do to it is go to Kimberly, KIMBALEY.com. That's KIMBALEY.com to listen to her weekly wisdom. It's a concept. She's also coming up with another concept too. So I thank all the sponsors, but more importantly, I thank you very, very much. And this was a good day. This was this was really nice. I really appreciate that. I want all of you to have a great weekend. Take good care of yourselves. And we will talk on Monday. I'm going to have a brand new guest on. She's never been. Her name is Alana. I'll let you know that, and you'll see more about what she does on Monday, the 9th of September. Everybody, have a blessed day. Until then, take good care. This was a lot of fun, seriously, and have a great weekend. Be safe.